Emma lived in a small, snowy town called Winter Haven. She was 8 years old and loved Christmas more than anything. In the center of Winter Haven was a large pine tree called the wishing tree. Every Christmas, children would write their wishes on small pieces of paper and hang them on the tree. The townspeople believed the wishing tree had magical powers to make the wishes come true. This year, Emma had only one wish. Her father, a soldier, was far away, serving in a distant country. He had missed the last 2 Christmases, and Emma missed him terribly. She wrote her wish carefully on a piece of gold paper. "I wish my daddy could come home for Christmas." Emma held the paper tightly as she walked through the snow toward the wishing tree. Her dog, Max, trotted beside her, wagging his tail. The town square was bustling with holiday cheer. Families shopped for gifts, children laughed, and carolers sang beautiful songs. As Emma approached the tree, a sudden gust of wind blew through the square. It was so strong that it snatched the paper right out of her hand. "No!" Emma cried, chasing after it. The golden paper fluttered high into the air and disappeared over the rooftops. Emma's heart sank. She had spent so much time writing her wish. She wanted her dad to come home more than anything in the world. Max barked, as if to say, "Don't worry, we'll find it." Emma decided she wouldn't give up. "We have to find my wish, Max," she said. "Let's start looking." Emma and Max began their search immediately. They walked through the bustling streets, looking high and low. "Have you seen a gold piece of paper?" Emma asked a shopkeeper. The man shook his head. "Sorry, dear, I haven't. But good luck finding it." Next, Emma stopped at the bakery. The smell of fresh bread and cookies filled the air. "Excuse me?" she asked the baker. "Did you see a gold piece of paper fly by?" The baker wiped his hands on his apron and smiled. "No, I didn't. But here, take these cookies for your journey. It's cold outside." Emma thanked him and put the cookies in her bag. Max sniffed around every corner, his nose close to the ground. "Good boy, Max," Emma said. "If anyone can find it, it's you." They stopped at the toy store next. The toy maker, Mr. Green, was carving wooden soldiers. "A gold piece of paper?" he repeated. "I think I saw something flying toward the forest. Maybe you should check there." The forest was at the edge of the town, quiet and covered in snow. Emma felt a little nervous, but she knew she had to keep going. "Let's go, Max," she said. Together, they headed toward the trees. The forest was peaceful but cold. Snow covered the ground like a fluffy white blanket, and the tall trees stood still in the icy air. Emma held Max's leash tightly. "We have to be brave," she told him. "My wish is out here somewhere." They searched for hours, but the golden paper was nowhere to be seen. Emma started to feel tired. She sat on a fallen log to rest. "What if we don't find it, Max?" she said, her voice trembling. Max licked her hand, as if to comfort her. Suddenly, they heard a rustling sound. Emma stood up quickly. "Is someone there?" she called. From behind a tree, a small squirrel appeared. It had a shiny object in its paws. Emma's heart leapt. Could it be her wish? "Hey, little squirrel," she said softly, approaching it. The squirrel dropped the object and scurried away. Emma picked it up, but her heart sank. It wasn't her wish. It was a piece of shiny foil. Disappointed but determined, Emma continued walking through the forest. She and Max followed the tracks of birds and other animals. The sun began to set, and the sky turned pink and orange. Emma knew she needed to head back soon, but she didn't want to give up yet. Just as Emma was about to turn back, she heard the jingle of bells. She looked around and saw a horse-drawn sleigh coming down the path. The driver was an old man with a white beard and a red coat. "Hello there," the man called out. "What are you doing out here all alone?" "I lost my Christmas wish," Emma explained. "It's a gold piece of paper, and I think it's somewhere in the forest." The man nodded thoughtfully. "A Christmas wish is very important," he said. "Why don't I give you a ride? We can cover more ground together." Emma hesitated for a moment, then climbed into the sleigh. Max jumped in beside her, wagging his tail. The sleigh glided smoothly through the snow. Emma told the man about her wish, how she wanted her father to come home for Christmas. The man listened carefully. "That's a very special wish," he said. "Sometimes wishes find their way back to us in unexpected ways." The sleigh carried Emma and Max back to the village. The old man smiled kindly at her as they reached the town square. "Why don't you ask around here one more time?" he suggested. "Sometimes answers are closer than we think." Emma thanked him and climbed down. She started asking people again, going from shop to shop. This time, she noticed a young boy holding a piece of paper that looked familiar. "Excuse me," Emma said. "Where did you find that?" The boy explained that he had seen it blowing in the wind and picked it up. Emma's heart raced. Could this be her lost wish? She reached out for the paper, but then realized something. It wasn't hers. Still, Emma felt a renewed sense of hope. If this boy had found a piece of paper, maybe hers wasn't too far away. She and Max decided to expand their search, determined to bring her Christmas wish back to life. Emma stood in the town square, looking around thoughtfully. "If the wind carried my wish, it might have blown toward the hills," she said to Max. The dog barked in agreement. The hills were outside the village, and they often caught strong gusts of wind. As they walked toward the hills, Emma spotted a group of children playing in the snow. She stopped to ask, "Did you see a gold piece of paper blow this way?" One of the children nodded. "I think I saw something shiny near the old barn up there." Emma thanked the children and hurried toward the barn. The structure was old and wooden, with its roof covered in snow. Max ran ahead, barking excitedly. "Do you see something?" Emma called after him. Inside the barn, the sunlight streamed through gaps in the walls. Emma searched every corner but found nothing. She sighed, sitting down on a hay bale. "Maybe we're too late, Max," she said sadly. But Max didn't stop. He sniffed and scratched at a pile of hay in the corner. Emma got up and walked over. "What is it?" she asked. Max dug through the hay until something shiny appeared. Emma reached down and pulled it out. Her heart sank again. It was just an old tin can. "Good try, Max," she said, patting his head. "We'll keep looking." As they stepped outside, a gentle breeze blew through the air. Emma noticed it carried small bits of snow, twirling and dancing. "Maybe we should follow the wind," she said. Max barked as if to say, "Let's go." Emma followed the wind up the hill. She thought about her father and the Christmases they used to spend together. They would decorate the tree, sing carols, and drink hot chocolate by the fire. She missed him so much. When they reached the top of the hill, Emma stopped to catch her breath. From this height, she could see the entire village. The wishing tree sparkled with lights in the distance. "I hope the tree still remembers my wish," she whispered. As she looked around, she noticed a small envelope stuck in the branches of a bush. Curious, she pulled it out. It wasn't her golden paper, but it had her name on it. To Emma, it read. Emma opened the envelope carefully. Inside was a letter from her father. Tears filled her eyes as she read his words. He told her how much he missed her and how proud he was of her. He explained that he was trying his best to come home for Christmas, but wasn't sure if he could. I love you, Emma, the letter ended. No matter where I am, you'll always be my little girl. Emma held the letter close to her heart. I miss you, Daddy, she whispered. I hope you can come home. Emma carefully folded her father's letter and tucked it into her pocket. It gave her a warm sense of comfort, but also renewed her determination. Max, she said, if Daddy is trying to come home, we need to make sure he has a reason to. We can't give up on finding my wish. As they began their descent from the hill, Emma saw a figure approaching through the snowy path. It was an old woman dressed in a heavy wool coat, with a basket on her arm. Hello, young one, the woman said in a kind voice. What brings you out here in the cold? Emma explained her story, the lost wish, the wishing tree, and her father's distant station as a soldier. The woman listened carefully, her eyes twinkling. You have a brave heart, child, she said. Perhaps I can help. The woman opened her basket and pulled out a small lantern. This is a guiding lantern, she explained. It's said to reveal what is hidden. Take it and search where you haven't thought to look before. Emma hesitated. Thank you, she said, taking the lantern. I'll use it carefully. The woman nodded and disappeared into the snowy path, leaving Emma and Max to continue their journey. Emma and Max returned to the village, with the lantern glowing softly in her hand. Its golden light shimmered like a warm star, casting long shadows in the snow. Emma decided to start where she had first lost her wish, the wishing tree. When they reached the tree, the lantern's light grew brighter. Emma held it up and carefully scanned the branches, the ground, and the nearby benches. At first, she saw nothing unusual, but Max began barking and pawing at the tree trunk. What is it, Max? Emma asked, kneeling beside him. The lantern's glow illuminated a small hollow at the base of the tree. Inside, she found something shiny, a gold ribbon. Her heart skipped a beat. She reached into the hollow and pulled out the ribbon, but the paper wasn't attached. It's part of my wish, she said aloud, but not the whole thing. Still, the discovery gave her hope. We're getting closer, she told Max. They followed the lantern's glow through the town, stopping at places they had visited before. Each time, the lantern seemed to guide them toward small clues. Scraps of gold paper caught in fences, glimmers of gold thread tangled in tree branches. Piece by piece, Emma felt like she was piecing together her lost wish. On Christmas Eve, Emma and Max returned to the wishing tree. The lantern's glow was now brighter than ever, as if it was guiding her to a final discovery. Emma carefully placed all the pieces of gold paper and ribbon she had found together in her hands. But it's still not complete, she whispered. Just then, the town bells rang, signaling the start of the Christmas celebration. Families gathered in the square, their laughter and joy filling the cold air. Emma stood beneath the wishing tree, feeling a little sad, but also proud of how far she had come. Suddenly, a voice called out, Emma! She turned around and froze. Her father was there, walking toward her in his uniform, a warm smile on his face. Tears filled Emma's eyes as she ran to him. "Daddy!" she cried, throwing her arms around him. "I promised I'd try my best to come home," he said, holding her tightly. "And here I am, just in time for Christmas." Emma's heart felt like it might burst with happiness. She looked up at the wishing tree, its lights sparkling in the night. "The wishing tree really is magical," she said. "It brought you back to me." Her father smiled. "Maybe it wasn't just the tree," he said. "Maybe it was your brave heart and all the love you put into your wish." That night, Emma, her father, and Max sat by the fire, surrounded by family and friends. Emma realized that the true magic of Christmas wasn't just about wishes coming true. It was about the love and hope that kept them alive.